today's focus is going to be on props in Pilates classes, specifically the magic circle. Also have these bands here as well. These are a couple of tools that I've really loved using when I'm teaching a Pilates class as well as in my personal Pilates practice. I find that especially the magic circle can be such an underrated prop that can really help us to not only perfect our form, but really focus on finding that deeper connection, whether it's to our core, to the legs, whatever muscle that you're working on finding and feeling that activation. Okay, so I'm gonna just share a few exercises, just gonna set those bands down, starting with the magic circle. All right, so we're gonna start with a chest lift. I love using the magic circle with chest lift. I found that it's really helped my clients as well to find that deeper connection to our core, and also not to make it a neck exercise, because very oftentimes that's what chest lift can become, which we don't want. All right, so let's go ahead and lay down on our backs, float the legs into tabletop. All right, so we're gonna take this magic circle. I'm gonna place my head inside of it. So that inside cushion pad's just gonna come right at the base of the head. Stack your palms ahead of you and place it into the opposite inside cushion pad. All right, you can have the elbows bent. Gaze right now is just kind of towards our inner thighs. Right now I'm more in a mini chest lift, but you can start laying in that neutral spine. All right, so take that inhale to prepare. As you exhale, curl up and forward. Inhale to roll back down. So as we curl up, we're gazing towards our inner thighs and allowing that magic circle to help us find that deeper connection to those upper abdominals. Feel them firing here. I find that using the magic circle also helps us not to make this, again, a neck exercise. Help us keep proper form. Keep that space in between our chin and our chest. Sometimes I like to cue clients to imagine like there's an egg or grapefruit in between your chin and your chest. If it's an egg, I always say don't crack that egg. So you could hold this chest lift, progress into single leg stretch, double leg stretch, toe taps as well if you'd like to hold that chest lift. And then take that magic circle off so you can smoothly roll back down. So that's one exercise that I've really been loving. I'm going to share another core exercise and then we'll move on from there. All right, so I like to hold that magic circle horizontally. You can have it placed in between the legs, but I find that that can be a little shaky and just not as stable. So I always have clients place it onto one thigh and then stack your palms again, bring those elbows wide. So we're holding that tabletop position. As you exhale, you're gonna press your palms deeper into that magic circle. Feel those deep core muscles turn on. Slowly lessen the tension in that ring and allow it to come more like a circle. So as we press into that circle, we're making it more like an oval, and then slowly release it. Not only are you working the core here, but you can start to feel those arms firing too, specifically those triceps. Now if you'd like to progress, again, you could curl up into that chest lift. Little mini chest lift here. And then you could even add in little pulses, in, to really feel those abdominals working. So that's one exercise that I really love as well, just to, again, help clients and yourself to really feel that connection to our core. So oftentimes we're just kind of going through the motion and not really being intentional with that movement. So that's where tools like the magic circle can really help. All right, so now we're gonna move into bridging. So let's go ahead and place it in between the thighs, just above the knees. Press a little tension into that circle so that you're in more of a parallel stance here, all right? Rest your arms long at your sides. Now before we bridge, I always like to start with pelvic rocks, again, just to feel that core activation and get a little more mobility in our spine. So take that inhale through the nose, allow the legs to go just a little wider now. As you exhale, press into that magic circle, scoop your abdominals and rock your pelvis towards your rib cage. Inhale to rock it away. As you do, you can widen the legs just a bit. So it's not a huge range of motion here. As you exhale, again, focus on finding that deeper connection to your core. As you press into that magic circle, that can kind of help you to find that deeper connection. Inner thighs also turn on, pelvic floor lifts. We're pressing our lower back into that mat as we rock our pelvis towards the rib cage. Inhale to rock it away, focusing a little bit more on that mobility in the lower back. So that's an exercise that I'll use. If the magic circle is too intense, because it can be a little intense, especially if it's in between the thighs, you could utilize a different prop like a ball in between the thighs. Usually that's what I'll do for a more beginner-friendly class. As we progress, that's when you can incorporate that magic circle. If you're in a beginner class though and want to use the magic circle, just go ahead and place your legs inside of that magic circle, and you can go into that pelvic rock motion this way. That will also help you to keep a parallel stance here rather than the knees knocking in or splaying out. So magic circle can be very helpful for that. All right, so since the magic circle is around my legs, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it there, moving into an articulated bridge. As you exhale, starting at the tailbone, slowly peel up one vertebrae at a time until you're at that strong diagonal. Keep the arms reaching long. I like to press my palms into the mat to feel those triceps activate as well. Starting at the upper back, we slowly roll back down. If the client has any back pain, spinal conditions, osteoporosis, you can cue them to hinge. Hold that bridge, and then you can pulse the hips up and down an inch. Hold the bridge, keep the hips lifted and level. You can abduct the legs out, kind of like you're trying to break out of that magic circle. Those glutes engage a bit more. You could even hold this bridge and then lift the heels and lower the heels, firing into those calves as well, and challenging our stability and balance a bit. Go ahead and lower the heels. Exhale, slowly peel back down. You can give those knees a hug into your chest so you can smoothly roll that magic circle out. So I'm going to go ahead and use it for single leg circle, and then I'll show one seated series that I'm really enjoying with magic circle. All right, so we're going to start more beginner friendly. Keep the left knee bent and then extend that right leg up to the sky. Point that foot. Extend the arms up to 90 as well. You're looking right in the middle or in the center of that magic circle. We're going to start drawing those circles with our leg in one direction. As you do this, gradually make those circles a bit larger for that hip mobility. Now, if you wanted to progress this, you could extend that leg long, a little more challenging here. Modification, just keep that leg bent. Now, as you do this circle motion with the legs, really try to keep that magic circle centered and still. Pressing your palms into those pads. Keep tension in that circle here. It's going to help us for that control, but also to keep that upper body engaged. So if you wanted to focus more on mobility, then make those circles a bit larger. You can sweep that leg across the midline. If you want to focus a little more on stability, especially in that opposite hip, reduce the size of those circles for better control. So you pick your goal with what you want to do. You can reach that leg up to 90, flex and point the foot a few times, get a nice stretch in the backs of the legs. Bend that knee, lower that leg down. Let's bend the left leg as well. You could move into chest presses. Squeezing into that magic circle on the down. Keep a little bit of tension on the up as well, but pick one direction where you're really pressing into that ring. Keep the arms extended up to 90. You could go into a skull crusher motion, bending the elbows, reach that circle right towards the crown of your head. And then you could even keep the arms extended and just pulse into that ring. Feel those shoulders and chest muscles, arms working as well. Bend the elbows, and let's go ahead and use that magic circle to teaser up. This is my first teaser of the day, so see where we're at. Extend those legs long, keep the arms reaching up. Inhale, extend the arms, foot bar. All right, let's lift it this way. Exhale, we teaser up, lift up into that V-sit. Reach the arms just slightly higher, feel those upper abdominals engage. Bend the knees into tabletop, and I'm just gonna slowly come up to seated. All right, so seated, holding onto that magic circle. You can have your client seated on the mat for this, on the box at the mat, or on their reformer facing front or back of the studio. Okay, so just side facing. Feet are on the floor, palms pressing into that outside pad. Bend your elbows, glue them in at your sides. We can start with that serve a tray motion. You extend the arms out ahead of you, bend the elbows to bring that circle into your chest. Now keep the arms extended at shoulder height. Keep that tension in your circle. Exhale, we twist to the left, gaze follows. Untwist back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. So we're twisting from the ribs and up. Focus on keeping those hips square. Now keep those arms reaching ahead of you. Keeping the arms straight, we're gonna pulse into that circle as we walk the arms up at a diagonal. You can go overhead as well if your shoulders will allow it. And then pulse into that ring as we walk it down. In, up, up. Pulse in as you come down. One more time here. Now walk that magic circle all the way down. We're back at shoulder height. Gaze is right into the center of that circle. Lift the arms up at a diagonal. Hinge at a diagonal. Keep that back flat. And we're just going to do little pulses up and down an inch, working on that mobility in the thoracic region. I find that this exercise can feel really good. It's a nice little challenge. You really feel it in those shoulders and upper back muscles, helping us just to get mobility in that area. Last two. One, hold it there. Lift back up tall, bend the elbows to bring it in. Come on to our abdominals, legs long. And I'm just gonna scooch back a bit. Okay, so you're gonna place that magic circle vertical. Stack your palms and place them on top of that outside cushion pad. All right, got a little limited space here. Now, even though we're on our abdominals, keep that core engaged. Create a tiny little sliver of space between your core and the mat. Keep the arms reaching long. As we inhale, we're going to peel the chest up off of that mat and find our swan. Exhale to articulate back down. So lengthen out through the crown of the head as you find that extension in the thoracic spine. Pelvis heavy into the mat. We're pressing down into that magic circle as we lift the heart up. Now you could hold this swan position and do little pulses down, down. Feel that upper body working. Pause and hold it. See if you can lift up a little higher. Exhale, slowly peel back down. Okay, so moving now into swimming. So we're going to keep a little bit more of a neutral spine. You can lift the chest up slightly off of the mat here. Find a little more tension in that circle if you do. Keep the neck long. We're going to float the left leg up and then lower it back down. Keep those hips square and stable. We're lifting that leg up to the point where we feel that engagement in our glutes. Not to where we're arching in the lumbar spine or dumping any tension into the low back. Let's switch sides. Work in that posterior chain. Now lower that leg down. Inhale, come up into a little mini swan. Option to float both quads up to a hover off of the mat and do little flutter kicks, little swimming legs. I always like to cue clients to move at their own pace here with swimming. However, if they are rocking and rolling in those hips, swimming like they're being chased by a shark, then slow it down so you have better control. Pause and hold that lift. Inhale, lift up just a little higher. And exhale to slowly lower it all down. You can set that magic circle down. Rest your forehead on your palms. Bend your knees. Give those knees a little sway from side to side. All right, let's reach those legs long. We're gonna press ourselves up and just finish with a child's pose stretch, again, using that magic circle. So I'm gonna allow the knees to go wide, place that circle vertically again, stack the palms on top of that ring. All right, we're just gonna sink our weight back into our, towards our heels, bum to heels. As you do this stretch, press down into that circle. That's gonna give you a nice upper body stretch, while we also open up the hips, keeping those knees wide. For a little stability challenge, you could lift the left arm up, thread the needle. Keep that right arm strong, controlling that magic circle. Go ahead and untwist, switch sides. Come back to your child's pose position and slowly roll up, drag that magic circle towards you. All right, so those are just a few of the exercises that I've really been enjoying to teach and incorporate the magic circle with, again, in my own practice, along with some cues that I hope are helpful if you're a fellow instructor as well. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe. I can definitely share more videos like this. I do also plan to start sharing some workouts soon.